Good morning, students. Yesterday, I was discussing about Roman sculpture and Greek sculpture, and I'm sure you must have studied that. And today, I'll talk about Renaissance period. And you all know this is such a uh, very important topic to discuss, and it is a vast subject to discuss. But I'll try my best to complete it very quickly so that you all can understand. Now, Renaissance, I think you know the meaning of Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth. It is rebirth. That means during the time in Renaissance period, there was a great change. There was a great change in arts, in culture, in sculpture, in culture, in art, in literature, in every field there was a great change. A lot of change had taken place during that time, and it started in 15th century, that you all know. And during that time, artists developed their styles and their techniques, and it was more realistic, it was more lifelike, and it was absolutely naturalistic. So this is very important to understand, that there was a great change in commerce, in wealth, and in literature also. So before I go in detail, I'll just write down some of the key points to understand. And the first point is, this Renaissance started in 15th century. So 15th century Renaissance started, and a number of change taken place during that time, and lot of artists, especially painters and sculptors, they did their best, they tried their best to bring a change during that time. So second point, I'll write a great change in art and literature. There was a great change in art and literature. Now, in painting, if we talk about painting, artists developed different styles. Artists used perspective and modeling to give a three-dimensional effect. So that is a very important point. Artists used perspective and modeling to give 3D effect. And during the time, the master artists were Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael, that you all know. Master artists were master artist Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael. These artists were master artists, and Michelangelo was a sculptor, Leonardo da Vinci was a painter, and Raphael was also a painter, that you all know. And the thing is that if we talk about another very important point, key points, during the Renaissance, as I have said earlier, that there was a great change in art and literature. Then in sculpture also there was another artist whose name was Donatello. Donatello was another great artist who was a sculptor. He also made very beautiful sculpture, and these artists tried their best to prove their quality, and they made lifelike sculptures, they made realistic sculptures, they focused on natural thing. It was naturalistic. The works were naturalistic. This is also very important point. The works were very naturalistic. So these are very important points to remember. So now I'll just go through it once again. This Renaissance started in 15th century, which is very important to understand, and there was a great change during that time, especially in art and in literature. An artist used perspective and modeling to give 3D effect. It was three-dimensional, it was not two-dimensional. And master artists were Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael. And Donatello also was there, was a great sculptor, and their works were very naturalistic, and it was very lifelike also. So these are the key points to remember regarding Renaissance period, and in next class I'll talk about Renaissance sculpture. So you all must study this lesson, because it is very important in the history of sculpture, in the history of fine arts. And Renaissance, it's so important that I thought I'll tell in detail, but the thing is that you need to first study it. Then next class I'll talk about it in more detail, so that you can understand better. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.